the NFC South just got a whole lot more interesting. Baker Mayfield woke up and chose violence when he found out Kevin Stefanski is heading to the Atlanta Falcons. We're talking about a quarterback who's already proven everyone wrong once, now getting ready to do it again against the coach who shipped him out of Cleveland like he was nothing. This is about to be must-watch football twice a year, and Baker's making sure everyone knows he hasn't forgotten what went down in Cleveland. Let's break down what happened and why this division rivalry just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Before we get into Baker's comments, you need to understand the history here. Baker Mayfield was the #1 overall pick in 2018. The Cleveland Browns selected him first because they believed he was their franchise quarterback, the guy who was going to end decades of misery in Cleveland. And honestly, for a while there, it looked like it might actually work. Baker's rookie season showed flashes. The Browns were building something. Then, Kevin Stefanski came in as head coach in 2020, and in 2020, they actually made the playoffs. The Browns won a playoff game for the first time since 1994. Baker played through a torn labrum that year and still got them to the postseason. But here's where things started falling apart. The 2021 season was rough. Baker was injured, playing hurt most of the year, and the relationship between him and Stefanski started getting tense. There were whispers that maybe they weren't on the same page. Maybe the offense wasn't built for Baker's strengths. Maybe Stefanski wanted a different style of quarterback. Then came 2022, and the Browns went all in on Deshaun Watson. They traded a massive haul to Houston and gave Watson the biggest fully guaranteed contract in NFL history at the time. $230 million fully guaranteed. And just like that, Baker Mayfield was done in Cleveland. Fast forward to now. The Atlanta Falcons just made one of the biggest coaching moves of the offseason. They hired Kevin Stefanski away from the Cleveland Browns. Stefanski had been Cleveland's head coach since 2020, won Coach of the Year twice, but the Browns were ready to move on after another disappointing season. The Falcons grabbed him up immediately. They're looking to turn things around after going through Raheem Morris, and they think Stefanski is the guy to do it. When the news broke that Stefanski was going to Atlanta, Baker did not hold back even a little bit. He said, and I'm quoting here, "I can't wait to see you twice a year." That right there tells you everything you need to know about how Baker feels. He's not trying to be diplomatic. He's not giving some corporate answer about respecting the competition. He's straight up saying he's looking forward to those matchups because he's got something to prove. But he didn't stop there. Baker went on to talk about how he was shipped out of Cleveland like he was nothing. He specifically mentioned being treated like a piece of garbage when they decided to move on from him. Those are strong words, but you can hear the emotion behind them. Baker talked about how the whole situation went down, how one day he was the franchise quarterback who played through injuries to get them to the playoffs, and the next day he was being packaged up and sent away for whatever they could get. He said it felt disrespectful, and honestly, it's hard to argue with that.
I mean, from the outside, I got my popcorn ready. Baker Mayfield, pew, pew, pew. Baker Mayfield wasn't fond of the tweet saying that Baker and Deshaun failed. And that's all you can read the rest. Failed is quite a reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Can we get the 30 for 30? Like, why we gotta wait? They out the building now. Can we know what the hell happened?
Be keeping up with it. Failed is quite the reach, pal. And this is Baker Mayfield responding. Still waiting on a text call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of trash, like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Baker Mayfield has also been, in the last 3 years, #2 in passing touchdowns, #3 in passing yards, #9 in quarterback wins with 27. It seems as though maybe Kevin Stefanski is a bad coach, specifically when it comes to the relationships with the quarterback, right?
Baker Mayfield wanted those Twitter fingers today. Falcon fans, Baker Mayfield just called out Kevin Stefanski and said he can't wait to play us twice a year. We can't wait either. The Bucs are the worst team in the NFC South. Baker Mayfield said, can't wait to see you twice. We can't wait to see you twice either, Baker. 2-0. I wanted Clint Kubiak, but Stefanski is our coach now, and I'm going to have his back. See you soon, Baker Mayfield. Rise up.
So Baker Mayfield tweeted out something regarding Kevin Stefanski. Failed at quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Like, I understand people say Baker Mayfield played with a chip on his shoulders, but let's be for real, y'all. He was the first overall draft pick, and you mad because the coach ain't text or call you after they traded your ass. Let's keep it a buck. Baker Mayfield, what have you done since you left the Cleveland Browns? The same thing you doing for the Buccaneers, you did with Cleveland. You win one playoff game, then lose in the next round. The same thing you did for the Cleveland Browns. Your playoff record is 2-3. You act like you done won a Super Bowl or won NFL MVP. Like, what am I missing? Like, I don't really understand this tweet. Some things shouldn't even be tweeted or said. Like, you shouldn't even said nothing. Like, this was crazy.
Yes, man. Yes. 2026 is the year of ethical hate, bruh. And you love to see it. Baker Mayfield, you cooking that man, bruh. You cooking him, bruh. And I couldn't be more proud, man, because as a man who is not a fan of neither the Falcons or the Buccaneers, but really the Falcons, bruh, I hope every time you see them, Baker, you throw all the yards you can possibly throw on them boys, bruh. That man made you throw 55 times with a broken shoulder, bruh. You got to get it back in blood, bruh. You got to get it back in blood.
Oh, I'm so happy Baker said something. I'm so happy right now. Anyways, this guy tweets, Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction of 11 other quarterbacks. Starters, the QB Shedeur Sanders closed out the season with 7 starts. To which Baker Mayfield quotes and says, failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text and a call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. This is the storm and the rivalry and the storyline that we need to see out of the NFC South going into next year. Coach versus former quarterback. And I just can't wait. Got Bryce Young, you got Tyler Shuck, you got Michael Penix, you got Baker Mayfield. And I'm telling you right now, I want Baker to get his vengeance back on Stefanski so bad. Not just for him, but for all Cleveland fans out there.
Whenever I read this, it brought a smile to my face because it all figures bring hatred back to the NFL. And I really hope Baker Mayfield brings his A game because I will be sat watching this game. I'm going to let y'all read what the first tweet said as well. And sometimes it reminds me of why players should also be doing the same things to other players because we need more beef like JSN and Lenore. Everybody have your popcorn ready because I will watching this game round 1 next year. And hopefully there's more implications next year too with these two teams. Bring hatred back to the NFL.
Man, I fucking love NFL drama, man. I love it. You do not back a dog like Baker Mayfield into a corner. And Mr. Orlando Ledbetter, he is a writer for the Atlanta Falcons. He took a quick jab at Mr. Baker Mayfield, saying Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed. One of them's a diddler, though. Baker Mayfield responds, says, failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Now, the Bucs might just gaping hole the Atlanta Falcons for the next couple years with Baker Mayfield. I love this so much.
The NFC South is going to be the most entertaining and toxic division in the NFL next year after what Baker Mayfield just tweeted about Kevin Stefanski. If you want to read what Baker tweeted, you can pause the video right here. But it is clear that Baker Mayfield does not like Kevin Stefanski, and it seems like Kevin Stefanski does not value Baker Mayfield as a quarterback whatsoever. These two have to face each other 2 times a year, and on top of that, the other teams in the division do not like each other whatsoever. This is easily the most toxic division in all of football. For years, there have been fights between these teams, and now it looks like things are going to get chippy between the Falcons and the Buccaneers.
Who the fuck does Baker Mayfield think he is? Calling shots at my coach, Kevin Stefanski? I would have shipped your ass off too, buddy. In all seriousness, Baker should have sat. He should have never played through his torn labrum. All that extra shit. But, like, this is just weird, nigga. This is weird. This is weird as shit. Especially for a nigga who did not make the fucking playoffs this year. Like, come on, man. Come on. Come on, Baker. And I guarantee you Atlanta is going to be a better team than the Bucs. Like, This was so stupid. This was so dumb.
I think that the Baker Mayfield Cleveland Browns drama is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. We are now multiple years removed from this situation in Cleveland, and it is still coming back into the mix. Every few months, something has to make it come back into the mix. This time, Mr. I block out all the noise, I'm only focused on what's important, had some words on Twitter for Kevin Stefanski. I don't think we need to continue to rehash what happened a couple of years ago, but I will say in the current moment, if you are truly focused on blocking out the noise and not letting outside things bother you, I don't think you're sitting online and tweeting something like this. I think you're probably more focused on what went wrong for you this season that allowed your team to miss the playoffs. And I'm not even saying the Browns are good. Obviously, the Browns are a bad team, but having this conversation every few months again and again is just ridiculous.
When Baker Mayfield was shipped out of Cleveland, it was reported that the Browns got rid of him because they said they needed an adult in the room. Now, the adult that they brought in was one of the worst humans in American history. I'm not going to defend that. But Baker Mayfield is once again proving why the Browns thought they needed an adult in the room. Baker Mayfield is a child. And you can have this gripe. You can be upset about this. But to tweet it out to the masses for some petty Twitter likes is childish. And by the way, this was tweeted just 2 weeks ago. Focused on the work, not the noise. Oh, Baker. We know you are obsessed with the noise. You don't have to fake it.
Quite frankly, I don't blame Baker Mayfield. I know Kevin Stefanski just got hired by my Atlanta Falcons at this point. But if I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm trying my best. If I don't win not one game in the season, I'm going to take it to Kevin Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons every single year. People talk about how Kevin Stefanski and that team was a dumpster fire. It could have been prevented had they kept Baker Mayfield. Right now, if they would have kept him, he'd be the all-time leading passer for the Cleveland Browns right now. And undoubtedly, with that defense that they have, they would at least have gone to the playoffs. Look at what Baker's doing down there in Tampa Bay and how he led his team to 3 straight division titles since he's been there. So I don't blame Baker Mayfield for how he feels. He was shipped out of town like a piece of garbage. I will say this, they all made this big stir about, oh, we need an adult in the room. Baker's immature. Baker's this, Baker's that. And you end up with Shane Diesel at quarterback, an adult movie star that couldn't play quarterback, mind you. A whole lot of drama, no playoff berth, and a possibility of a wasted career in the form of one of the greatest defensive players of this generation, that being in Myles Garrett. So the term that Baker Mayfield used as far as calling failure quite a reach, as far as himself is concerned as Cleveland, it's just that, a reach. He succeeded in Cleveland. The fact of the matter is, he played for several different coaches during his time in Cleveland, including Kevin Stefanski. He led them to the playoffs, and after that injury-riddled year, they gave up on him and shipped him off. He was able to find success elsewhere and was a few plays away from an NFC championship not too long ago. So if I'm
Here's why this is such a big deal for the NFC South and for football fans in general. The Buccaneers and Falcons are division rivals. They play each other twice every single regular season. That's guaranteed. And now every single one of those games has an extra layer to it. Baker Mayfield has already shown he can play with a chip on his shoulder. After getting cut by the Panthers and picked up by the Rams mid-season, he came in on short notice and won games. Then he got to Tampa and immediately turned them into a playoff team. He's playing some of the best football of his career right now, and a lot of that is fueled by wanting to prove people wrong. Now imagine that energy directed specifically at Kevin Stefanski twice a year. Baker's going to be dialed in for those games. He's going to want to carve up whatever defense Stefanski puts together. He's going to want to put up 40 points and make it crystal clear that moving on from him was a mistake. And it's not just about Baker. The Falcons are trying to build something in Atlanta. They've got weapons on offense, they're investing in their roster, and they think Stefanski is the coach who can put it all together. So when the Bucs come to town, or when Atlanta heads to Tampa, these aren't just regular division games anymore. These are personal. The NFC South has been interesting the last few years, but this adds a completely different element. You've got the Saints' rivalry history with the Falcons, you've got the Panthers trying to rebuild, and now you've got this Baker versus Stefanski storyline that's going to dominate headlines every time these teams meet. Think about the storylines. Baker trying to prove his old coach wrong, Stefanski trying to show he made the right call. The media coverage is gonna be insane. Every time these teams play, it's gonna be must-watch television. The first matchup between these two is gonna set the tone for this rivalry. If Baker comes out and the Bucs drop 40 on the Falcons, that's a message. If Stefanski's defense shuts Baker down and gets the win, that's an answer right back.
The internet absolutely exploded when Baker made these comments. Browns fans are conflicted because a lot of them still love Baker for what he did in Cleveland, but they also supported the move to Watson at the time. Bucs fans are fired up because they love that their quarterback is willing to talk like this. Falcons fans are getting defensive, saying Stefanski made the right call and Baker's just bitter. But you can tell everyone is circling those Bucs-Falcons games on the calendar now. This is the kind of storyline the NFL dreams about. Personal beef, division rivalry, 2 times a year, high stakes, it's got everything. And Baker made sure everyone knows this isn't just business as usual. He took it personal, and he's not hiding it. Social media has been going crazy with clips of Baker's best games, highlights of him torching defenses, all with captions about him getting ready to do it to Stefanski twice a year. The memes have been quality. This is the kind of beef that makes the regular season feel like playoff football. Look, at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield has every right to feel how he feels. He was the #1 pick, he broke a playoff drought, and he got shipped out for almost nothing. Now, the coach who was part of that decision is in his division, and he's got to face him twice every year. The NFC South just got a lot more interesting. Bucs versus Falcons was already a division rivalry, but now it's personal. Baker's not hiding from it, he's embracing it, and that's exactly what fans want to see. When these teams take the field, it's going to be must-watch football. Baker versus Stefanski, twice a year, with playoff implications and personal pride on the line. The storylines write themselves. Make sure you're subscribed because we'll be covering every second of these matchups when they happen. This is the kind of rivalry that could define the NFC South for the next few years, and it all starts with Baker Mayfield making it crystal clear that he hasn't forgotten, and he's ready to prove everyone wrong. Again.